was and will continue to be VCU centered. When I was at Clemson in the ACC, the number 1, 2, and 3 things we had to sell were the ACC. That's not the case here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I do think that with the kids we're recruiting, when we called and we let them know that we're in the Atlantic 10 or we're moving to the Atlantic 10, or they saw it on the news or they saw it on Twitter, the response has been very, very positive. So I think it certainly helps from that standpoint. But it's not like our sales pitch has changed. It's still about finding people that want to come to VCU and be a part of what we're doing here, both on and off the court, and fit the qualities that we're looking for. In terms of the footprint or the area that you go recruit, I think it'll mostly be the same. Now, we've demonstrated that we can go outside of that to go recruit guys, and some we've gotten and some we haven't gotten that we've tried to go get outside of this region. DJ Haley probably being the best example of a guy on our team that he passed a lot of schools on his way to VCU, coming from Southern California. But I think that won't change too much. There is a couple exceptions to that. I think the state of Ohio has 2 of the stronger Atlantic 10 teams. Some would argue the 2 strongest programs. And again, I'm not saying that, but some would say that. Xavier certainly had more success recently than anybody in the Atlantic 10. The CAA didn't have anyone in Ohio. I think that's an example of an area where we can go a little bit more often now, and there is name recognition for the league. I spent a lot of time in Ohio in my life, and so I have a familiarity there. We went and recruited Rob Brandenburg the first year we were here, and we were able to beat out some very good schools for him. So that's an example. Maybe we go up the East Coast a little bit more, a little bit further to a New Jersey, to a New York. But again, there's a lot of good programs that recruit up that way, so it's still going to be challenging. Does it change the caliber? That remains to be seen, Tim. I mean, we were trying to, before any of this came up with the Atlantic 10, our goal was to bring guys in that could help us be successful in the NCAA tournament. And, in the NCAA tournament, for the most part, you're playing high major teams. So before this change even occurred, we're trying to bring people in here that can help us beat USC, Georgetown, Purdue, Florida State, Kansas. And so that obviously does not change. I think that there's a perception in recruiting that, well, this kid can play in this league or can play in that league. We don't just want guys that can play in our league, whether we were in the CAA or now that we're in the Atlantic 10. We want people that can help us compete to be at or near the top of those leagues to win championships. So I don't think the guys on the upper end of our list, our recruiting list, will change a whole lot. Maybe there's a few more guys on the lower end of the list that we cut off, but I don't think it's a drastic change. Yeah, I'm 3 days into this, man, so that all remains to be seen. What we're doing right now as a staff is we broke up the teams among the guys on our staff, and we're just going to work studying these teams, getting to know these teams. We have a little bit of experience with a few of the teams, a lot of experience with Richmond. We played St. Louis a few years back, a couple times in the CBI. We played GW last year. We actually scrimmaged LaSalle a couple times my first 2 years. But, there's certain teams like, Fordham, UMass, Temple, Dayton, that right now the guys on our team, they know those are good programs, but they don't know anything about those teams from a style of play or a personnel standpoint. Maybe personnel, they know a guy or two from those teams, but we have a lot of work to do in terms of acquainting ourselves, both as coaches and players, with those programs, and that is an adjustment. That's a transition. In terms of our style of play, I don't see it changing. I mean, we really enjoy playing the way that we play, and I think it can be effective against teams from all levels. But we got to continue getting better.
Chuck, you were very gracious on the teleconference talking about how this is a whole athletic department move, but it's obviously driven by basketball and specifically men's basketball and kind of what you guys have been able to do and the success you've had. Is that a comfortable thing for you? Is that just another one of those challenges that you welcome, or is it unfair to put that much on you guys? Or
I don't like to label things, Hank, so uncomfortable, no, I don't use that label. Unfair, no, it is what it is. And I think one of the great things about VCU is our basketball program means a great deal to this institution, and it means a great deal to the people in the city of Richmond. I really value that. People always ask me, well, what is it about VCU? Well, we've sold out 18 consecutive games. People really care. There's a passion there, and it goes both ways. There's a passion for winning, and there's a passion that comes out if you're not successful. Certainly I realize that the Atlantic 10 is a basketball-driven league. As a basketball coach, that's the type of league that I want to be a part of, and I'm excited about where we're going.
Is there a sentimental side of you that's kind of bummed that the CAA wasn't, while embracing the Atlantic 10?
Definitely. It's definitely mixed emotions. And, as I said in the statement the other day, it's just been 3 years for me, but for VCU, it's been many, many years. And we've really enjoyed the competition, the relationships, the rivalries in the CAA, the experiences that our student athletes have had. But again, the reality is we're dealing with a changing landscape. It is a very dynamic, fluid situation, and I really trust the leadership at VCU from Dr. Rao on down, and they're navigating us through this changing landscape. I'm very happy to have the leadership that we have, and the reality that I think everyone settled on, obviously everyone settled on, is that the best thing for VCU moving forward is to go to the Atlantic 10. That's not an indictment on how good the CAA has been over the years. I think, and I've said it many, many times, in 2011, the only reason we even make the NCAA tournament is because of the strength of the CAA from top to bottom. A team like Drexel goes and beats Louisville non-conference. What does that have to do with us? Everything. Everything to do with us being an at-large bid in 2011. So, I value that. I appreciate that. The reality is, as we did the research, there's certainly many, many more at-large opportunities in the Atlantic 10 versus the CAA. That doesn't mean it's easier because you have a lot of great programs going after those, and they're still hard to come by. But that was one of the factors certainly that we looked at.
Shaka, do you want to continue some of the CAA rivalries if it makes sense?
Would love to. Yeah, I would love to. I think everybody does from the VCU standpoint. I think our fans do. I think our administration feels strongly about those rivalries, and let's face it, the most important of which is Old Dominion, and they're, as of next year, no longer going to be a part of the CAA either. But whether they were or they weren't, we wanted to continue playing them, and so there's already been discussions there. And as I said on the teleconference, I'm very hopeful and about 98% sure that we will play Old Dominion in this 2012-2013 season. Now, it's almost certainly going to have to be at Old Dominion. That was we don't have a whole lot of leverage in the scheduling game right now because we're the ones that just changed leagues and we have a lot of games to go get. But if that's what it takes to continue the rivalry, that's what we'll do, and then the next year they can come up here. The reaction from our current players was one of excitement. Our guys like challenges, and they know that this is going to be a challenge. They know that they're going to have the opportunity to go into arenas where they never have been, and they know they're going to get to play against players that they've never played against before. But our guys, they don't shy away from that kind of stuff. They enjoy it. You know, it's an exciting time for them because I think there is. I don't think that they needed any extra motivation, but there certainly is an added motivation and excitement in understanding, hey, we're going to a new league, and you know we have to be ready to play, you know, all these teams, and it's a long list of teams. I mean, there's 15 teams in this league, so you know our guys are excited about that.